Last November, I did a series on this channel which we called the Beginner Series, and it was basically a sort of guide to the beginning of the Hunter called the Wild, but so much has changed about the game since then, and I think because of that, a lot of you guys have asked for me to do it again, so that is what we're going to do. And I did back up my old save. I'll be able to go back to it. I'm not going to lose all that progress, but we'll go ahead and get started there. And I'm going to do a lot of things differently this time than I did last time. We'll get into more of that later, but I do want to play the tutorial, so if you are completely new, I'll try to explain as much as I can right here at the beginning. Okay, so we had to hear from the warden, and the first thing we'll do is go ahead and accept his mission. And there's a couple of things with this tutorial deer that I can explain right away. So first we're going to look at our inventory. We start with 3 weapons. So we have the 243 rifle, 12 gauge shotgun, and the 357 revolver. And mainly we're going to use the 243 just because of its range capabilities. But we have soft point bullets. Those are not so good at penetration, pretty good at expansion, and basically all that means is we don't want to take frontal shots. Really, broadside is going to be much better. Simply explained, there's a lot more deer to go through at this angle than there would be a broadside. So another thing we're going to look at is the kind of indicators in the bottom right. So the middle one there is how visible we are. If you do different things, you can see that changing, but going into some brush like this will make the line almost invisible, and that's what we want ideally for any scenario we can get it anyway. So now that we've done that, we do start with a deer bleed collar, and we'll hit that because we don't want that frontal angle. As I said, we want her to be more broadside. So hopefully by hitting that at some point, because they do sort of trot around when you call, she should give us a better angle than we started with. And it looks like if she just continues over there, even that's going to be better than what we had. So I'll even try to help that. Because this is the tutorial deer, she's not all that smart. And we'll just put that right behind the shoulder there. And that should be good. So now, I'll quickly explain tracking. I spotted this deer already, and that means her tracks are active. So you have an inactive track color and an active track color. And I don't know if my colors are default, but red is my active. So I spotted her, we have the red tracks, and that means every red track is going to be from her. Obviously, she didn't really go anywhere, so not much of a big deal to track her down, but we have her there. So got our first deer, and now we have a mission to go to the lookout point up there. Actually, we have a black-tailed doe just coming down here, so again, the angle's not what we want. I also saw a moose, but small weapons, we're probably not going to shoot that right now. But anyway, we'll try to get her in here. Actually got another one right there, which would be better. Like I said, we don't want frontal angles when we can help it. When we get polymer tips, which are unlocked, we just have to actually go buy them, then that matters a lot less. So that should be fine. Again, I'm just pretty much aiming right behind the shoulder. I think there's a rabbit there. Yeah, I must have missed that. But would have liked to hit it, because generally you just want as many animals down as you can. So again, following the red tracks, she shouldn't really have gone that far. I guess maybe I only got one lung that time. But she's still down right there, so still all good. Little extra cash and XP on our way up to the mission. And that's a level up. So I mentioned the skill and perk points. We got a skill point. And you have to start here because obviously all these are locked. I do think Stalker's better to start with. That's these ones. So we'll go ahead and buy the first one in tier 0. Also worth mentioning, all of these information points is worth your time to run over and examine them because they, I think, always give you XP. We'll see for sure here in just a second, but inspect that. We got the lore entry added to Codex, and I think it's like 80 XP or something. 100 even. Not bad. But anyway, we get to the lookout point, and that's going to give us a little kind of cutscene here. And basically what the lookout points do is kind of unlock a bunch of icons on your map. And it basically is a way of showing you where the outposts are. So we have one here that we can go to, and I think, yeah, one up here. But this is the closer one. That's actually going to be another mission as well, if I'm not mistaken, to go to the outpost. So we'll head down there, and that's actually where things are going to change, I think, most from last time. And we have to make a point of actually claiming the outpost, because then we can access the bed inside to rest and change the time, and the weapon locker, or just inventory locker, I guess, which is right there. So here's where things are going to change. I am going to recommend Weapon Pack 2 and 3 DLCs, and even 1, but we're not going to use stuff from Weapon Pack 1 in this video. So last time I did this, I didn't use any of the DLC weapons. This time I'm going to. So if we scroll down here, we have things like the 30-06, which are free, no in-game cash, and that's huge. This is a much bigger weapon than what we have, so of course we want that. And also, the other important one is this one, the Silicon MN, also known as Mosin Nagant, 1890. We'll go ahead and get that. And the ammo is not free. That we still have to pay for. I do want to show you 243 polymer tips. I'm going to buy 1 pack of those. I'll do, as I said, I prefer polymer tips. I don't like the soft points, so we'll get 30-06 polymers. And where is the 7.62 Mosin rounds? We'll just save on money and buy 10 of each. So, like I said, I want to show you the 243 polymers, and then really we're going to put that gun down and never use it again. And I actually forgot to equip the stuff, so you got to go into your storage. Also, I think this is only on PC. You start with the 270. I still think the Mosin is better, so we're not really going to use it. We'll go ahead and get the 30-06 and the Mosin in there, the new ammo we bought, and I don't need the road deer color on this map, so got all that done. We'll go find a deer to shoot with 243 polymer tips. Okay, so just to show the difference with polymer tips, hopefully she'll step out of the open here a little better so you can see where I'm aiming. I tried to put that in as much the same spot as we did on the deer earlier, but of course now we're using a different ammo type. So, I think actually the polymer tips on deer in some cases do less like overall damage, but you also get that frontal shot ability. So this time you see we went through to both lungs, and that's basically the biggest thing. The penetration on the polymer tips is much better, but like I said, that's pretty much the last time we're using the 243. Now, I've done a shot placement guide for the 243, so if you don't want to buy DLCs, you can go watch that video. I have that actually as an end screen clickable link at the end of this video if you want to check it out. But anyway, we're going to go put away the 243 and unlock this other outpost. And actually leveled up again there, so we'll be able to throw a perk point in this time, because it alternates up until level 30 something, and then it's like every other level you get a point. So, one of the most important things in my mind is the zeroing perk. I want to work towards that. That's an active perk, which I'll explain later when we get to it, but we'll buy the first one to unlock all of that stuff. And while we're here, I want to actually show you kind of the goals that I want to work towards. So, I think most importantly, we need a better sight. So the Hyperion is 900 rifle scores, so you get around 50 per harvest if you're getting maximum bonuses. So that means we need another 15, 16, something like that. Then we want collars, which are level unlocked. So for this map, like the deer grunt's level 37, but the bleat pretty much covers that. Elk's level 15, moose level 35. So leveling up, moving through the game in that way is pretty much what we want to do. But weapon score, rifle score specifically, is what we want to work towards right now. So you might be wondering, since I bought the 30-06 instead it's a much bigger caliber, why I'm not using that. So this is the Mosin. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but she was going to walk behind the brush. The reason is there is an integrity bonus in this game, and that's important for weapon score, that's important for cash and XP that you gain. And we'll look at that in a second. Evidently, I made a pretty poor shot, so I got a low bleed rate, which, as far as I know with low bleed rate, they always will die. They're just going to run pretty far, so we have a little bit of tracking to do. But that'll actually give me an opportunity to show you the difference when you don't get full bonuses, so that's what I thought. I hit her too high. Now, vertebrae, they don't drop. In real life, they'd probably just fall and stay alive, but it's essentially like a intestine hit. They'll just run pretty far and then die. If you hit the spinal cord, they will drop immediately, but that's a lot more difficult. But anyway, you see now we only gained 36, 37 weapon score from that one instead of the 50. That's because we lost one of our bonuses. So you want to have your bonuses because you get the maximum out of your harvest. But if it happens, it's still better than nothing. So I mentioned the integrity bonus. So if we go into our codex, we can go to wildlife, and all the animals are listed here. Every animal in the game is here. And if you look over here, we have recommended equipment. For blacktail, it's weapon class 2. For whitetail, it's also weapon class 2, but whitetail you can actually harvest with a 270. Blacktail you can't. Something is coming right to me. I think that's even a small buck. Absolute giant. Because the Mosin is much more powerful than the 243, I'm quite happy to kind of shoot it in the shoulder like that. And actually, if I can get a shot off, might try to get that one too. Dropped it. Cool. That'll be a little bit of extra cash and stuff for us, but for the integrity, what I would recommend is joining our Discord. That's linked below. And there is a spreadsheet that can give you all that stuff, because it's a little confusing. There's a lot of animals in the game like that, where they're called like a weapon class 2 animal, but for instance, blacktail are technically smaller than whitetail as far as what you can use, even though they are the same class. So to make sense of that, I'd recommend the Discord and that spreadsheet. And actually, I got really lucky and hit it in the neck, so we'll take a little bit of luck getting our weapon score up to where we can get that better scope. And actually, I think we'll probably leave this first video here, so hopefully that all made sense. One of the things I'm going to do with this series, because we're using the newer weapons with the DLCs, I think it's going to be a lot easier to progress than last time. So what I want to do with this is have videos dedicated specifically to explaining stuff, so maybe things like soft point bullets versus polymer tip bullets, or need zones, or weapon zeroing. Things like that. If you guys want to have a specific thing explained, comment below. I'll be looking through them. I'll be looking for stuff like that, because I think that is probably necessary. I don't think it gets explained as often as it probably should to newer players. So like I said, if there's something you want to see explained, comment below, and I will try to have a video in the series doing that. So in the next one, we're going to go unlock the Hyperion scope and probably use that a little bit. And then hopefully the video after that can be one of those explanation videos. But anyway, I've probably talked enough. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.